Welcome to Charts and Hearts. I'm Sarah and she's Lindsay.
And together we're working our way through an epic list of rom-coms in order to find and categorize tropes in the hopes of creating the nerdiest spreadsheet podcasts have ever seen.
And today, because we decided that September is Keanu Reeves month, we're doing The Lake House.
Yeah, Keanu month. I'm so excited.
Yep.
He's so dreamy. So this came out in 2006.
Yes, 2006. Yeah.
It's very timey-whimey.
Very timey-wimey.
A lot of the goofs in IMDb tried to bring that up. I'm like, you cannot add goofs to time travel movies. It doesn't work.
Yeah. The only way that time travel movies work is if you don't look too closely at the time travel.
It makes how they end up together makes absolutely no sense, but that's the point.
Yeah. That is the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the premise is it's 2006 for Sandra Bullock's character, and it's 2004 for Keanu Reeves's character, and they communicate by leaving each other letters in a mailbox at a lake house, and they try to meet up. They make plans for for him to meet her 2 years in the future, and nothing works out. And they have the same dog because it was his dog at the lake house because he's the owner of the lake house, and then he rents it to her in his future. And the dog is a stray that comes, and then I guess somehow she gets the dog. Unclear. Again, don't think about it.
Yeah.
And then on Valentine's Day in 2006, she is a doctor, and she tries and fails to save the life of somebody who's killed in a car accident. And then from that point on, we, the audience, spend the whole time worried that it's a sad ending of a movie.
Yep.
Because it's very obviously Keanu Reeves' character. And then somehow magically on that day, she leaves him a letter and is able to change the future, past?
The past.
She changes the past. She changes her past.
She changes her past and his future.
Yeah.
But then that's the whole thing of timey-wiminess of if she wasn't sad about this guy dying in the street, she never would have gone back to the lake house and found the mailbox.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, she doesn't her changing her past doesn't change her future.
Yeah.
But again, don't think about it too hard. And then they meet up at the lake house and
everything's fine.
Happily ever after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously there's way more plot than that, but that's not really all that matters.
Yeah. I'm sad. I'm sure, I don't know, maybe it was just the aughts, but I feel like now, if they had done this now for 2004 and then 6 and 8, there would have been more references to things. Because there's nothing of the top song is blah, blah, blah. And there's no early edition of you should have bet on so-and-so winning the Super Bowl. Or if they had done it as 2003, it'd be you're never going to believe what Justin Timberlake does to Janet Jackson. There's
so many things.
There's absolutely none of that, which is weird. And you would think, because that's one of the things that you would ask people, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for sure. She does warn him that there's a freak winter and everybody gets sick and he should be prepared for that. And then that's the only thing.
Yeah, and then it starts to snow and he sneezes immediately. Yeah. And I'm that's not how that works.
That's definitely not how that works. Yeah. It's also, there's a lot of this movie that's very specific, exact dates, but then it's also trying to be very timeless. Their fashion is fairly non-specific.
Yeah.
They both drive old
cars.
Classic cars. They don't they have she has a cell phone, but it's not a major plot point. So it is kind of, it's specific, but also timeless.
Yeah, I think they're going for timeless, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really work. It is also based on
a French,
I think a French movie.
Yeah,
so maybe some of that's why.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it has vibes. I would be interested to know if the French movie has a Hollywood happy ending or not.
Yeah, because it definitely is setting you up for sadness,
for tragedy.
Yeah,
yeah. But then also, if it wasn't a happy ending, it would just end with her crying at the mailbox. And that's it. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. And the whole the timeline of the time differential and that timeline of their correspondence, I think it's meant to be exactly 2 years, but it's not, maybe not exactly 2 years. It's sort of vague because it's not always the same time of year for both of them.
Yeah, that seems weird, the way they do seasons, but I don't know if it's just like the weather is drastically different and it's the same
Yeah.
season. Also, like they
feel
go
like-
through, it feels like they go through more than a year in the first time, and then they're like, look how much time is passing. Like, it just, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't clear if time was passing at the same speed for for both of them also. And like, yeah, like do the letters immediately appear in the mailbox?
Yeah.
It's very unclear. Again, don't think about
Don't
it
think
too
about
much.
too much. And then one thing that did actually show up in the trivia that does cause an issue that you don't think about with time travel. If it is the same days, 2004 was a leap year, and 2006 is obviously not. So that they wouldn't be on the same days. She would have had an extra day because this started on Valentine's Day. So if
Right.
it started in March, then they would have been fine. But
Yeah.
she would have had an extra day, and so or he would have had an extra day.
He would have had an extra day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So strange.
Yeah.
A huge part of this movie is also just like the aesthetics of like the cool architectural house and like the Chicago winters and
Yeah.
it is a really like beautifully looking movie.
Yeah. I think, there's
Yeah.
a lot of it that's really gorgeous. And yeah, like some of the shots are beautiful but strange. And I'm just like, what is?
Yes.
I think they're trying to be like, it's French. I think
Yeah,
that's
and
what they're
also
going
like
for.
Keanu Reeves' character is a Chicago architect.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's very like
like look at all this architecture. But it's
Yeah.
definitely not shot like a normal, especially 2006 rom-com.
no, it's definitely not trying to be a rom-com. It's trying to be a quirky something. I don't really know what it's trying to be. But it does have an amazing cast. Oh man. So Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves obviously
reunited after always together in our hearts.
Indeed. And then
And speaking of Canadians, Christopher Plummer is there.
Yeah. Yep.
Just
he plays
being
Keanu Reeves'
himself.
dad. Yep.
Himself,
Yep,
but if
being
he was
a-
an architect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like, playing his typecast self of
Yep.
a distant but loving father.
Yep. Cranky old man who secretly loves his children. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so Sandra Bullock is a doctor at the hospital, and like at her new boss is played by Shohreh Aghdashloo, who is the older Iranian actress who's like in everything like The Expanse, etc.
I was gonna look her
I
up
love her
because
so
I know
much.
that she was the person that you love, and my sister also in
Yes.
The Expanse. But it was like,
Yes.
she's in a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Like, does she
Yeah.
need to have her own trope category? Because I feel like she's gonna show up again,
She hasn't been in a lot of rom-coms.
Okay.
She usually plays
like a mom.
moms or like terroristy
Yeah.
things. Yeah, like her big one, she was in The House of Sand and Fog, is probably like her most like
I don't know. I've
seen thing.
I've
I don't
definitely
know.
seen her in things, so maybe she's.
Oh
in
yeah,
more.
no, she was in Star Trek Beyond. She's been in like every episode of every television show. Yeah, like going way far back. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
amazing.
I have like this like scene in my head that's just floating around of her like telling somebody they need to eat. So I'm sure she's been a mom somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, no, she definitely has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but she's a delight. I love her a lot. And also I don't know who it is, but the person who plays Sandra Bullock's mom is also really good. But I didn't recognize her
No, me
at all,
either.
but she was just good. Yeah. So
The other
very fun cast.
Yeah, the other thing about this timey-wiminess is that it's, especially with the immediacy stuff and the messages, is it is like a ripoff of Frequency. And I know it's not a ripoff if it's a French movie, but it's got a lot of the same things as Frequency.
Yeah, similar sort of time travel mechanism.
time travel and like writing messages that then show up, or like the tree when he plants a tree and then there's all of a sudden a tree there, and that makes
Yeah.
absolutely no sense because you can't plant a tree in front of a construction zone and expect it to stay there.
Right. Yeah.
And
Or like
yeah.
when he returns her book in the floorboards of her future apartment, like all that stuff.
Yeah. So so that's definitely giving Frequency vibes, which we love that movie.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like really, I don't know, Keanu Reeves can play a romantic lead, and he doesn't get to do
know.
it very often, and
Yeah.
it's sad for us.
I know, and I feel like this is probably why. Like, if you think about the timing, like, he was super famous. He got first billing over Sandra, which I don't know when the last time that happened, but 2006 was not
Yeah,
right
they were
after.
both like pretty.
But he
peak.
was
Yeah.
peak Matrixness. So, but then this, I don't think did very well because it's not great.
No, exactly. Yeah, like it has like pretty low ratings. I think it probably did not make a lot of money and or
Yeah.
lost money. Like, yeah, it wasn't a big hit, which is too bad. I think it wasn't a hit because it's weird and it's not like perfectly done.
Yeah.
So like it could get away with the incomprehensible timeline stuff if it was better.
Yeah.
Or it could be a really good time travel movie that is not great.
Yeah,
But
or
it's-
I think, or if it wasn't them together for the first time.
Yeah, I think
With both
it
of
was
their-
playing an expectation game.
Yeah, playing an expectation game for with the two of them and their insane bankability in 2006. Like Sandra
Yeah.
had done like what,
And-
27 million rom-coms by that point? Like,
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And also, like, the two of them have amazing chemistry, and they're reading letters to
yeah,
and from
to
each other.
yeah.
They are barely in the same room. Yeah.
Yeah, except for
So-
that dance though. Whew.
Oh, man. Yeah, the dance is really good. So, like, the parts that are good are really good.
Yeah.
But, like, listening to people read letters
And like
isn't that
talk
compelling.
to themselves in the middle of a room. I'm like, is this like
Yeah.
an acting exercise?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's what I mean in terms of, like, not super well done. Like, they
Yeah.
didn't do a great job of making you feel their connection through time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's sad, and I want him to be in more rom-coms, because I don't know, the only other one I can think of is Always Be My Maybe, which he's not at the main, he's main protagonist. He's amazing in, and I love
Yeah.
him in that movie, but it's not about him, except it is kind of about him.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not the point. Anyway,
Yeah. No, he's got lots of time left.
he does. He's
yeah.
timeless.
Poodles. Indeed, indeed. But yeah, most of this movie, again, you're just like, am I going to cry?
Yeah. Like, is this a City of Angels?
Is this setting me
Yeah.
up for heartbreak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because I think I've only seen it once until now.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I went with my sister to the theater to watch
Yeah,
this.
I probably did too, because again,
Which,
love Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock and Keanu.
They're together again. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but like, it's weird because, yeah, like, I don't go to that many movies with my sister because we haven't, like, lived as adults in the
yeah.
same city very often.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, it's very strange, but I'm pretty sure we did. Or she saw it and then told me to see it. I
Something
can't
like
remember
that.
which.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I have, strong sister vibes with memories of watching this. Anyways, as much as it's not a standard rom-com, because it's very romantic-y, but not very com-y, but it is like a light romance in the end. Once you remember that it has a
Then
happy
it's going to be
ending.
okay. Yeah.
It is full of many tropes.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
So, again, starting with Chicago, I feel like ever since we started keeping track, it's only been Chicago. But
Pretty much.
I know New York is coming back at some point. But, yeah. Chicago.
Yeah, very Chicago.
Sad, lonely Sandra Bullock. Is it just because she's
Yeah.
really good at being sad?
I think so.
Okay.
And it's also Chicago. It's weird.
Yeah, I think it's also part of that, but I'm like, she's just so sad. Like, there's no,
Yeah.
she's a doctor, and that's a hard job, and of
Yeah.
course, but like, there's nothing about that's sad. Like, her dad died, but not
Yeah.
tragically, and not in the last like 6
Yeah,
months.
not recently. Yeah. No, she's just like a melancholy person, I guess.
Yeah. Just stop being sad,
Yeah.
Sandra. You'll be okay. Is it because of your haircut? Maybe.
Oh man, it's a bad haircut. Yeah. She has a wise doctor friend though, which is very, especially like the wise friend, but especially at being a doctor is excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, and they have some really good chats. Actually, that's the other thing about the time travel in this movie. It doesn't surprise anybody
Yeah.
as much as it should.
No, that's true. Like like two doctors, counting Sandra Bullock,
Yeah.
and then her mom, and then like architects, like a bunch of, like
Yeah, like smart,
whatever left brain people, whatever
yeah,
it is.
smart analytical people
Yeah.
are just like,
Sure.
of course there's a magical time portal in your mailbox.
And also none of them, including his brother who goes there with him, none of them are like, let me try.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah,
nobody
like,
else tries. Like, this is what I'm missing the early edition of it, of like, let me like write to her and find out what the scores were so I can have $1 million.
Like,
like
yeah, they're like win a sports bet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
it's strange.
Yeah. Oh, so silly. Yeah. And then, they have a random dance because they're outside talking This is like when he knows who she is, but she doesn't know who he is. So they're just outside at a party talking, and they hear a song that they love, and then they start dancing, and then the dance gets very romantic, and then they kiss, and it's very swoony.
It's very swoony. It's a really long dance, and I'm okay with it.
It is a like awkwardly long dance.
Yeah.
Yes, and also, I mean, obviously they have to do this so that you can hear the dialogue, but like when they start dancing, the music is so quiet that I'm like, how do you even hear the music? And then once they stop talking, the music gets louder, and I'm like, the people inside the party didn't turn up the music.
It's all about the ambiance.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so this is a double trope because they discuss old romantic movies like Black and White. It was a Hitchcock.
Yeah.
With Cary Grant and a woman. Whose name I can't remember. So that comes up twice in the thing. And then they also spend a whole lot of time talking about persuasion. And I was like, this is a sign that you don't have faith in your romantic movie, is that you have to lean on old romantic movies, which I'm not saying is always bad, because obviously Sleep in Seattle does it very well. But this is just like two things. And like persuasion, they're like, they write letters and they have to wait a long time. Do you get what we're trying to do?
Yeah. They just need to be patient. Yeah.
And then do they not at one point talk about how they meet again at the end and it's bad? I'm like, they get together at the end of Persuasion, don't they? I haven't read it in a long time, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
I mean, it's Jane Austen, so I would assume so. Yeah.
So.
Oh, and then we have Sandra Bullock runs/drives and runs, and
she runs so fast.
She runs so fast, and then she drives, and then she's like confessing her love / trying to save his life, but it's like the big romantic declaration of standing next to a mailbox. Yep.
Maybe that's why she's sad, is that she had to act to a mailbox and a dog most of the movie.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Yeah, at least she got Shohreh Aghdashloo. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other main character who we didn't talk about was her super blah boyfriend, who she's with.
Because he's so blah.
In the past, and then he leaves her because she
he leaves her
Keanu
because
Reeves, even though he's a dickhead.
Yeah, but he's so bland that we didn't even talk about him, except to bring up that he's the bland boyfriend trope.
Yeah, exactly. And then for some reason she gets back together with him and then stays with him. And it's just...
I think it's part of, and they don't really do a great job of it, but it's like, it starts with her moving out of her apartment where she finds the book in the floorboards, and she's trying to get back together with him because she's like she's trying to not believe in this like time travel timey-wimey thing, because he, from her perspective, he stood her up at their when they were going to rendezvous, but it's because he was dead. But he's not dead. Time.
I don't know. It's just he's so blah, and they broke up for reasons, and then she's like, actually, no, let's get back together, even though I listed all these ways that you annoyed me and you didn't change. And it's just she's trying to just not be with the guy. So many tropes. Liz, does this pass the Bechdel test? It does, which is surprising because there's 2 female characters. Well, her mom. 3
with her mom.
But she talks about being a doctor, and her wise doctor friend talks to her about taking mental health breaks, which is great, especially for 2006, even though it's a plot point. But still, good job.
Yep.
And that's all. Like, it's not a lot.
Yeah. And honestly, the fact that there's only 3 like main female characters, there's not that many more male characters. Like,
that's true. It's a pretty
small cast of like main speaking roles. Yeah. So let's make some pie.
Yeah. It's a good pie.
Okay. Is this 1 slice or 2 slices? Keanu Reeves and Keanu Reeves' turtlenecks.
I'm gonna give it 2 because it's Keanu month, and I make the rules. Okay,
so Keanu Reeves are mostly us swooning over Keanu Reeves, even though he's not as swoony in this as
other things. Oh yeah, totally.
Because there's just a lot of what we hear his voice a lot, but we don't see you don't really see him a lot.
No, I think at one point he wore a blazer with jeans, and I was just done for. So
yeah. 15, 20?
Yeah, let's go with 15 because we've got
15. We got lots of items. Yep. There's a magical mailbox.
Yep.
I don't know,
it's also a main character. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
30 sounds good because it's a big important part of the movie.
A very important part of the movie. Very adorable, very smart dog.
It's a good
dog.
Which
I guess is also a trope. Is that a trope? I don't know. The wise dog. Anyways, 10?
Yeah. I don't know if it's a trope. Like, I don't know. Like, Wise Dog definitely would be a trope, but this one...
Yeah, this one not so much. It's
yeah.
just like, timey-wimey stuff that you shouldn't even bother to understand.
25?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because it's... Like, especially, obviously, that's how movies work, but as you get closer to the end and you figure out how they worked around this, I was just like, But...
And then...
this movie...
Yeah, it's like...
I'm not satisfied with this ending, even though they get together, because it's too timey-wimey.
Yeah, it's too timey-wimey. Yeah, they satisfied the romantic storyline at the, like... to the detriment of the
plot.
Actual plot.
Which makes me think of that you're right, and the French one is not so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool architecture. Mostly that house is amazing. And I'm sad it's not real. They like built it for the movie.
Yeah.
10?
Yeah, 10.
5?
10. 10.
And that should leave us with 10% for turtlenecks.
Yeah! Turtleneck sweaters. Killing
Woo!
it. Even though he does wear a turtleneck sweater and a blazer in the middle of summer. But again, the clothing in this movie is strange.
Was it summer? I don't know.
At her birthday party, it was summer.
Oh yeah, maybe it was like a cool summer
Sure.
evening by the lake. I don't really know.
No. Anyway, I don't care.
What's next for them?
I don't know. Like, they did have a good friendship. Like, they did have a good relationship in the letters.
Yeah.
They have chemistry.
And they both like the same house.
Yep. I'm too hung up on the timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah.
Of like, I don't know anything about either of their lives in 2008 because they're both weird and different than what we saw. I think that's where I'm
like
at.
I don't feel like we don't have enough information.
Yeah.
But I think they're obviously going to give it a shot. I'm like, now that they're together, does the magical mailbox stop working?
Exactly. Like, is it going to work for somebody else? And then they're obviously going to live in the lake house and then randos are going to show up and use their mailbox? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they told a lot of people about it, so...
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Does it work for anybody, or is it just tied to them and their, like...
Love?
Yeah. Their love and their, like, star-crossed lovers kind of vibe?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Lindsay, what's next for us?
Oh, the best Keanu and Sandra movie of all time. On the Patreon.
Agreed.
Because it's not a rom-com, guys. It's just it's a rom. And Die Hard on a bus.
And a bus.
It's a rom bus. It's a rom bus.
Amazing. Yeah, in case you didn't figure it out, we're going to do Speed for this month's Patreon exclusive episode, and we're very excited.
So excited about it. And then also, then wrapping up Keanu month on the main feed will be A Walk in the Clouds, which is where I first fell in love with Keanu as a romantic lead. Maybe also before I saw Speed. I can't remember, because it's like 96 or so who knows what I saw first. Anyway, he's dreamy, and that's what matters.
Yeah, it's really good. I haven't seen it for a very long time, but I'm very excited. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Don't forget that you can leave us a rating or a review wherever you get your podcasts, or you can find us on social media. We're at Charts and Hearts Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, or we're at Charts and Hearts on Twitter.
And you can also head to our website, chartsandhearts.com, where you can submit suggestions for rom-coms and tropes for us to add to the list. And you can check out our Patreon, because why would you not want to? At patreon.com/chartsandheartsclub, where you can listen to our Speed episode, lots of other romantic movies, and also some non-other rom-coms that we just wanted to do and just squeezed in there for reasons.
And you can always let us know your thoughts on this movie. And in the meantime, this house is about connections.
Mm.